Hey there, and welcome back. Let's talk about something that every practice owner and every DVM I know has wrestled with at some point, debt. Whether it's student loans, credit cards, equipment financing, or a merchant cash advance that sounded good at the time but is now keeping you awake at night, debt has a way of stealing your energy and your focus. Today, I'm walking you through 7 real-time strategies, things you can actually put into place this week to help take control of your debt, whether it's and I'm not talking about vague advice like spend less or cut back on lattes. I'm talking about clear actions you can start tonight that will free up cash, reduce interest, and create momentum. Today, I'd like to give you a roadmap to take the stress out of debt so you can get back to running your practice and your life with confidence. Sorry, I'm trying to share and talk to you at the same time, and I am not good at multitasking. So, hang in. Oh, wrong. Yikes. Okay. So I am Cassie Sykes. In case you're new here, I'm an enrolled agent and founder of Greener Pastures Income Tax. For 20 plus years, I've helped business owners, especially veterinarian practice owners, cut through the noise, read their numbers clearly, and handle taxes with confidence instead of stress. I'm federally licensed by the U.S. Department of the Treasury, so I can represent taxpayers in all 50 states. We take care of straightforward filings to complex audits to deep dive planning. My job is to translate the complicated, fix what's messy, and give you a solid financial game plan without the jargon. I live in East Texas with my husband and our 2 teens, and yes, IRS rules are often simpler than teen calendars. Clarity, consistency, and a little humor go a long way. With that being said, let's jump into today's topic. Stick with me to the end for a few actionable takeaways you can use right away. So the first strategy is the daily cash sweep. This is about setting up a simple habit that creates a steady stream of money dedicated only to debt payoff. Here's how it works. Every weekday morning, look at yesterday's deposits into your operating account and immediately transfer 5 to 10% into a separate debt service account. So if you're already having cash flow issues and you're kind of on the low end, you may want to work on that 5%. If you have some cash available, maybe 10, maybe 15, just really depends on uh, how your accounts are looking. So what this does is 2 different things. First, it forces you to prioritize debt payments before you spend. And second, it builds a predictable flow of cash so you're not stuck at the end of the month wondering where the money went. For practice owners, it keeps you disciplined even on heavy spending weeks. For personal finances, you can mirror it on payday and move a fixed percentage into a debt punch account. If you only do this one thing, you'll create forward motion every single week. The second strategy is to triage who gets paid first. So now that we've got a steady stream of debt dollars set aside, you need to know who gets paid first. This is called debt triage. Not all debts are created equal. Some are bleeding you dry faster than others. Here's how I want you to think about it. Look for the ones with sky high interest, anything 12% or more. Look for the ones that compound daily, and look for the ones with ridiculous fees. Those are the most toxic. You'll keep paying the minimums on everything else, but every extra dollar from your sweep goes toward that one hot zone debt until it's gone. I know some people like the snowball method. I like the snowball method too, but paying the smallest debt first just for the psychological win. And if you need that for motivation, you can clear one tiny one first. But I'd much rather you kill the ugliest, most expensive debt first, because that's the one that's leaking the most cash out of your pocket. Now, if you have 10 debts that are $2,000 and one that's ugly and big and gross and it's at 80,000, you may want to start with the smaller ones first. But otherwise, I would definitely look for the ugly ones and get those ones paid first. Strategy number 3 is negotiating. It's about lowering the heat. So just because a lender gave you a rate once doesn't mean that that's the rate forever. You can negotiate. Call your lender and use a calm professional script. Something like, we've been a customer in good standing for X amount of time. Our goal is to pay this down faster and keep this relationship. If you can lower the rate, reduce fees, or restructure to a fixed schedule, we'll commit to an auto draft plan starting this month. You'll really be shocked how often this works, especially with credit cards or equipment loans. Sometimes they'll give you a 6-month promotional rate, sometimes they'll waive penalties, and sometimes they'll extend your terms slightly to lower the pressure. Even a small reduction in interest means thousands saved when you're throwing consistent payments at the balance. The 4th strategy is pricing adjustments. So debt doesn't get paid without cash. And one of the quickest ways to create that cash is with micro adjustments in your pricing. For my veterinary practice owners, this means looking at your top 5 high volume services, vaccines, wellness exams, dentals, and adjusting 2 of them by 5 to 8%. That's not enough to scare off clients, but it's enough to generate an extra $1,000 to $3,000 a month that can go straight into debt payoff. If you're an associate or not running a clinic, this translates to tightening up discount leakage. Stop giving away rechecks or extra time that isn't accounted for. Little leaks add up. The point is, you don't need a massive fee overhaul, just smart tweaks on the most common services. The 5th strategy is to work on collecting faster. So speeding up your money that's coming in. So the faster you collect, the faster you can apply it to debt. For overdue client balances, run a 48-hour sprint. Send statements, text pay links, and make the offer simple. Half today, half next payday. Don't complicate it with a dozen options. Keep it easy for them to say yes. For in-house financing, make sure it's presented at the estimate stage so you're not accidentally financing work you don't intend to. And set a goal of converting every procedure into cash within 72 hours. For many practices, this one shift frees up $2,000 to $3,000 a month that was just sitting out there waiting. The 6th strategy is smarter inventory and payables. So debt gets worse when your cash is tied up in the wrong place, like shelves of slow-moving inventory. Strategy 6 is to bring inventory and payables into alignment with your cash cycle. That means only reordering what will turn in the next 30 days. If you've got slow movers, push them out with a promotion, but don't let them keep clogging up your shelves. Then call your top suppliers and ask for terms that match your actual turnover. If you're paying in 14 days but selling in 30, you're essentially financing their business with your cash. Ask for net 30 or net 45 so you can collect before you pay. This one move frees up thousands of dollars that can be redirected to debt service. The 7th strategy is to have a weekly command center. So this is where everything comes together. So you want to pick one time each week. Friday lunch works well for some people. And spend 20 minutes reviewing 3 numbers: your deposits for the week, the balance in your debt service sub-account, and the current balance of your priority debt. Then transfer the entire debt service balance to that one debt. This creates a rhythm and a good habit. Every week you're seeing progress, you're adjusting where needed, and you're building consistency. And consistency is what kills debt. Not one big payment once a year, but dozens of intentional payments stacked week after week. Let me give you a quick example. So say your practice deposits $60,000 a month. You sweep 7% daily, so you've got about $4,200 set aside. You negotiate one credit card down from 26% to 12%. You raise 2 service prices by 5%, and you run a collection sprint that brings in $3,000. So in that 1 month alone, you're putting $8,700 against your ugliest debt instead of just $1,200 in minimums. That's how you create visible movement quickly. by not waiting for someday, not hoping cash will magically appear, not hoping you win the lottery. You have to play to win, but most people don't win. But taking control right now in real time is how you create that momentum. So for those of you who've stayed with me until the end, I want to give you 3 exclusive tips that I didn't cover in the main 7 strategies. Think of these as little accelerators that can shave months off of your debt timeline. Tip number 1 is to use your found money. So every time unexpected money comes in, tax refunds, rebates, client overpayments, even that surprise $200 from a side gig, send it straight to your debt service account. The biggest mistake I see is letting windfalls vanish into lifestyle spending. So if you put 100% of that found money into debt, found money or free money as my husband calls it, you'll cut down balances way faster without feeling a squeeze on your regular cash flow. Exclusive tip number 2 is to automate 1 extra payment a month. So most people make debt payments monthly, but here's a trick. Set your bank or lender to draft a bi-weekly half payment instead. So you'll end up making 26 half payments in a year, which equals 13 full payments instead of 12. That 1 extra payment sneaks in each year without you really noticing, and it can knock years off a mortgage or a large loan. On average, 4 to 7 years on those biweekly payments. So the third tip is to tie your payoff to a visual milestone. Debt is invisible, and that makes it hard to stay motivated. So pick something visual, like a giant wall chart in the clinic break room for your business debt, or a thermometer graphic at home for personal debt, and color it in every time you make a payment. When your team or your family sees progress week after week, it turns payoff into a game instead of a grind. Motivation matters, and visual wins keep the momentum going. These are the kinds of extras I love to give to people who stick it out to the end with me each week. If you put these into practice along with the 7 strategies we went through today, you'll not only be taking control of your debt, you'll be sprinting ahead of it. So here's your action plan for the next week. Today, open a debt service sub-account and start the daily sweep. Pick your most toxic debt and make it the target. Run a 48-hour collection sprint. Make 2 micro adjustments in pricing. Call 1 lender for a rate review. Place your next inventory order with 30-day terms. And then Friday, sit down for your first command center check-in. If you want help mapping this to your clinic or your personal numbers, schedule a profit and cash flow analysis with me. It's a free call. In it, we'll go through your debt list, your cash cycle, and build a step-by-step payoff plan. You can grab a time at the link on the slides, or I'll also drop it in the comments. So before you go, I want to share an incredible resource designed to elevate your veterinary practice's financial success. I've put together a free ebook just for you. It's called 7 Financial Strategies. Inside it, you'll discover practical steps to increase profitability, improve cash flow, and make smarter financial decisions for your practice. You can grab your free copy in the comments. Thank you for tuning in today. If you found this helpful, like this video, share it with other veterinarians. If this is something you want to implement in your own practice, don't forget to book your free call. I'll send you the info you need to help you do it right. I'll see you next week when we're going to talk about software, the 5 hidden software features that can transform your veterinary practice workflow. I hope you have a great rest of your week and see you soon. Thank you.